What's up, everyone? The wall comp has been played and a new HOH has been crowned for week 6 in the Big Brother house. But who will be the target this week as tensions have already reached boiling point? Welcome to your live feed update. So here are the results of the HOH comp, guys. Davon dropped first after about 3 minutes-ish, and then she was followed by David, then Ian, then Memphis went down after that, followed by Enzo, then Kevin, and then Tyler, leaving Nicole, Cody, and Danny on the wall. Nicole went first, followed by Cody, and Danny is the new HOH. Straight off the back, guys, I'm going to ask you to let me know in the comments how you feel about Danny's HOH reign. Do you think it'll be successful? Do you think she'll make a power move? Do you think she'll sort of cower behind some folk and sort of make a weak move? Just anything to do with that, just let me know in the comments how you feel it will go. But obviously, will it be a big move? Will it not be a big move? We've got all that to talk about. So straight away, we're going to dive into what's been discussed since Danny was crowned the HOH. Straight after the HOH comp, Davon told David that she doesn't feel safe this week, but she also doesn't feel like she's in danger. So there's a little bit of a middle ground going on there. And the theme that I've been discussing was the fact that, you know, when Janelle went, they just cleaned up shop and took Kaser out the next week. But I don't think they're cleaning up shop with Bailey and Davon. I think Bailey's gone and her partner duo will stay a bit longer with Davon, probably making it much further in the game, if not very, very deep into the game. Because I feel like she's not really the public enemy number one now, and it's not really a big move to take Davon out now, so it's sort of keep her around for a bit longer rather than taking her out nice and early. I think there's a lot more house guests that other people are worried by, and everyone's got their own individual targets now rather than just common public enemies. It's sort of, you know, everyone's going for different sides of the house, including the Tyler and Danny sort of relationship that's going on there. But I don't think Tyler's obviously going to try and push any buttons with Danny this week because she is the HOH, and I don't really think Danny is going to try and get Tyler out because Danny is believed that she squashed things with Tyler, so she believes everything is all good there. But there's a lot of dynamics to talk about, and David said he believes he would rather have a chance to win the veto and not be backdoored, so he would rather, if Danny was going to nominate him, just put him up straight up so he can battle for his Big Brother life in the veto comp. Obviously, with the final four left on the wall, we had Nicole, Cody, Tyler, and Danny. And Cody asked Danny after the comp if she thinks that Tyler threw it, thinking that he would be safe when he saw the three of them left on the wall. Danny said that she doesn't think it happened, but Danny then went to ask Cody later what he and Tyler were whispering about in the bathroom, and you know, he said that Cody claimed he wasn't in the bathroom, and Danny didn't buy it, so Danny's getting slightly paranoid there. I don't think she's going to be at the point of paranoia where she's going to nominate her own allies, but at the same time, I think the paranoia is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as the weeks go on now. That you know, once the essential bottom feeders have been taken out, these alliance members that have been very, very tight since day one are going to have to turn on each other. The Million Club Alliance got together, Ian and Nicole, to discuss the fact that Danny had become the HOH. And they discussed, even though it's not one of them two sat in the HOH room, Danny winning the HOH is probably the third or fourth best option that they could have because they're probably not going to be nominated. And they did discuss it would be the ultimate betrayal if Danny did decide to put the two of them up. But at the same time, you know, Ian's still confiding in Nicole. Nicole's confiding in Ian, but I think we know that Nicole has the better and stronger relationship with Danny than she does have with Ian. But you know what? Ian's playing a fantastic game. You know, he has not been on the block yet once. And you know what? Nicole Franzel hasn't yet. So I think you've got to give props to her for that. But at the same time, Nicole Franzel has had a target, whereas Ian hasn't had as much of one. There's been a couple of people wanting to get him out, but that sort of target sort of dissolved very, very quickly. And you know, you could say the same thing for Nicole Franzel because it was Janelle and Kaser who wanted to target her. And they're gone now, so you know, it's I think it's only going to be a matter of time though before someone makes the move that I think everyone was anticipating, even pre-season, would be to put the two winners on the block and get one of them out because it looks fantastic on your game resume. Tyler has told Cody that he will not be surprised if Danny puts him up on the block as one of the nominees. We will get to this shortly of who Danny is planning to nominate, but I think Tyler is probably safe from jeopardy this week. It seems as though he's had a bit of a rough ride last week, but I think he's going to be sitting pretty this week with not many people targeting him. And you know what? I think he's got his head back in the game, and I think he's in it to win it. So we'll see what his strategizing can do and how far it can get him, and if he's going to mend some relationships this week, or maybe plant some seeds to maybe try and get Danny out the next week. Enzo was talking to Tyler and saying that obviously with Davon falling off the wall within 3 minutes, he said that if he was HOH, he would put her up for that alone. We saw yesterday Enzo saying he would flip the house on its head if he won HOH, so he's totally backtracked there saying he would put Davon up because, let's be honest, putting Davon up isn't essentially flipping the house, so it's slightly disappointing at the fact that Enzo was all bark there and didn't really sort of come through if he was to win HOH. He said he would have put Davon up for the simple reason if she fell off the wall after 3 minutes. I guess it's the easy way out, but if it makes you get further in the game, then I guess it's something, So Tyler said that he believes Davon should be up on the block as well, alongside Kevin. And, he still thinks that Davon could... he said to Enzo that he could be nominated. That paranoia is just hitting Tyler over and over and over and over again. But Enzo said, don't worry, Tyler, I think it's going to be David and Kevin. And obviously we're going to get to that very, very soon. To blow all Davon rumours out of the way, Danny has told Davon that she is there for her and, she's not going to be nominated this week. She's safe. So Davon's, unless something crazy happens where a lot of people put pressure on her to get Davon out the door, I'd say Davon is not going to be the first member of the jury. So she is safe this week and it doesn't look like they're cleaning up shop after Bailey's eviction. After some toing and froing back and forth with Nicole, Danny discussed the nominations and pretty much settled on the fact that her original nominations have to be David and Kevin. But there was like a continuing theme of her continuing to say, there's a lot of continuing here, guys, but she kept saying that, they have to be the original nominees. And, if it was a normal HOH reign, you'd probably just say, I'm going to nominate these two, not the original noms, which tells me she's got something in the works, a potential backdoor plan that she hasn't disclosed to anyone yet. I do believe potentially Tyler could be it. I'm going to go out on a limb there, but we just don't know yet. She could totally blindside someone with a big move. But you know what? She said the original nominees are going to be David and Kevin. Danny asked Davon that if she was HOH, who would she be putting up on the block? And Davon was like, she's got to get a bit of revenge, so she would put Christmas up. And I'm pretty sure that just confirms that this so-called Powerhouse Girls Alliance that they were trying to pitch is pretty much dead in the waters, and it's not going to happen. So Davon said she would put Christmas up alongside Tyler, and they both do believe, herself and Danny believe that after last week, it just seems really, really evident that Christmas and Tyler are working together after all their talks and all their strategizing together. They just believe it's clear as day that they need to go. And with Danny, she said that if Davon does actually go for Christmas, should she win HOH, that Davon has total backing, and Danny will actually try and actively get Christmas out to help out Davon because she also feels threatened by Christmas. Tensions are definitely rising within the Big Brother house, as last week we saw Christmas, Davon and Bailey come to blows, and it seems as though Christmas has got herself into hot water again. Kevin went into the comic bedroom to grab a blanket, and Christmas was sort of like, oh no, and Kevin was sort of, he picked up the blanket, put it back after Christmas said that. He walked out the room, went back to the lounge sort of living area, and I won't exactly repeat what he said, just to, it's family friendly, guys, but I'll stick the thumbnail on the screen now so you can see exactly what he said. But he said this into his mic, and he's definitely annoyed with Christmas, and I think potentially we could be seeing them come to blows this week. I think it's just going to be another notch on the fact that Christmas is arguing with more and more people, damaging her game slightly, but we'll see. I don't think I think Kevin's sort of starting to get slightly annoyed, because we've seen Kevin week after week sort of go to every single corner of the house and suck up to a bit of power, but it seems as though Kevin seems to have enough now, and he's here to play, and he's not bothered about making enemies or and making some good connections as well. Christmas let Danny know that no matter what she does this week, Christmas has her back and she's there to support her. That is Christmas definitely doing damage control after last week of her HOH reign, and making sure she's in good sitting this week to ensure there's no target on her back. I don't think Danny's going to go for Christmas at all. As evident, I think she's going to try and potentially do some sort of backdoor, unless she just decides to go through with taking out either David or Kevin. I think Christmas would be fully on board, obviously, with taking Kevin out if things do come to blows with the two of them, but we'll just have to wait and see what transpires as the week goes on. That is all of your game updates for today, folks. Thank you so much for everyone watching. You are all legends. I hope you're all enjoying these videos. I have so much fun making them, and the support is incredible, and I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you times a million. Thank you so much. But yeah, guys, I'll say it as I usually do. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.